Hey guys, Eric Barfield with Patch Foundry. I wanted to talk a little bit today about why this keyboard over here, the Nord Stage 3 HP76, is still in my studio and still my main keyboard for the gigs that I play. A lot of my customers have been asking me why I don't have a Stage 4 because it's been over a year since it was released, and the Nord Stage 4 is a crazy, amazing instrument. I got to play it for about 4 to 5 months. I programmed a whole set for it, and it's incredible. Specifically for me, there are 3 reasons why I have not upgraded yet. And also, I can't see myself upgrading in the next year, maybe. I don't know, maybe a little longer. Number 1 is price. It is so freaking expensive. It's $5,600 for the new Nord Stage 4. Nord Stage 3, when it was available new, it clocked in at about $4,600 depending where you went. So you're talking about a difference of almost $1,000 more to get the Nord Stage 4. Right now, the keyboard behind me, you can pick up for somewhere around $3,500 to about $4,000. That'll change, obviously, depending on when you're watching the video. So when you're talking about used versus new, you're talking about almost a difference of $2,000. As a gigging musician, somebody who uses this thing every single week, I've found that I can pretty much do everything that I need to do with this instrument. Now, I love the Nord Stage 4. It would definitely be an upgrade, but at that price difference, that's a lot of shows for me before I can cover the cost of that upgrade. There's also the factor of if you're a church and you have a limited budget and you have to make a choice, this thing is going to do pretty much everything you'll ever need, while the Nord Stage 4 is going to do even more than you'll ever need. But again, it's limited resources. How much money do you want to put into something that's going to sit on a platform or sit in your studio or stage? So reason 2, availability from backline companies. Now, this may be a non-issue for you if you're playing at a church, but as a person that does a lot of backline gigs where I'm showing up, there's a keyboard on stage, and I have to quickly load all of my patches onto the keyboard, this is a huge deal. More and more backline companies are buying the Nord Stage 4, and I suppose this won't be an issue in probably a year or two, but at the moment, it's very difficult to find backline companies that have one available, which means that you're having to come up with workarounds, you're trying to bring a laptop, and I just don't like having that kind of uncertainty when I'm showing up at a gig. There's enough things to worry about. And last but not least, number 3 is weight. Now, the Nord Stage 4 is the highest quality build I've ever felt in a keyboard. It's just everything from the knobs to the screen feel great, but that all translates to a small bump for some of the models in the weight and a large bump for the HP76, which is now the HP73. The keyboard that went up the most in weight was the HP76, which is now the HP73, and that went up 9 pounds. Now, 9 pounds is not a big deal if you're not having to constantly move your keyboard and you're not having to fly it. And the fly part of it is the really hard part. Typically, when I'm doing a fly date, if I can't get the backline company to be able to rent the right keyboard, which happens more often than you would think, I have to fly with my keyboard. And the Nord Stage 3 HP76 is the only keyboard that I know of that you can put into a hard shell case and keep it under 50 pounds. It's an incredible feature. What that means is if I am playing with an artist and we're doing, say, 10 shows, and there are 2 shows where I have to use something other than a Nord Stage 3, I would have to go out and completely reprogram all of my sounds for probably main stage or something else in order to show up prepared. And that's hours and hours of work. Unfortunately, of all the objections I have, this is the only one that I don't think there's going to be a solution to, because you just can't come down 9 pounds on a case and still have a good case. And there's obviously no way of removing 9 pounds from the Nord Stage 4. Now, that said, the Nord Stage 4 is an incredible keyboard, like I mentioned before. It's got the ability to have 3 synth slots instead of 2. That's a huge deal. It has effects that the Nord Stage 3 doesn't have that are dedicated to each section. And honestly, when I was programming it, I could just tell that this was a higher quality board than anything I'd used in the past. But that said, I'm going to be sticking with this bad boy for the foreseeable future because it's just a monster of a keyboard. It's light, it's easy to program, it's easy to use, and I find myself turning to it almost every single day in the studio and every time I'm on a stage. Okay, so I want to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Tell me if you're upgrading, why you're upgrading, if you're holding off, if I'm crazy. And you can find out all the weights, the exact weights on the blog at patchfoundry.com between the Nord Stage 3 and the Nord Stage 4. So that's patchfoundry.com. And yeah, thanks for watching.